Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. And we have an animated film today, yes, from the wonderful people at Disney. Yeah, are they so wonderful with this one? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Yeah, we're a computer animated action film produced by Walt Disney Pictures and Walt Disney Animation Studios. And today we're going to have a look at Raya and the Last Dragon. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. If you like what you see and you enjoy what I try and do, I try and inform and entertain, please push that notification so you know these vlogs are coming out. I do movie reviews like this, TV drama reviews, quizzes, information vlogs on, say, what's out to buy on DVD. Hopefully, fingers crossed, what's coming on at the cinema very soon. Obviously, we're back to that. It's been a few months since I've done one of those. So please check out those playlists, and you will see some stuff on my football team as well. I have a Citizen channel with all things Manchester City, history, present, quizzes, magazine vlogs, or lots of different things on there. So if that's of any interest, if it's not, don't worry, there's loads of film and TV stuff. But if you know someone who might be interested, please point them in my direction. I will be very grateful. There's a couple of links on screen for Facebook and Twitter, so if you follow or friend me on there and you're after followers, etc., please do that, and I will reciprocate. I do check every 3 or 4 days, and I'll follow and friend everyone back on there. All comments very welcome about this film or anything in general about TV and films. It doesn't really matter. Just let me know any comments you've got to make. That'd be fantastic. If you don't have time to comment, perhaps you might have a chance later on to come back and just put a comment once you've watched this. But yeah, if you don't, just give us a thumbs up. I mean, it's nice to get views, and the views are growing as I do these vlogs, and my subscription base grows. But nice to get a little thumbs up as well, just to know you appreciate what I'm trying to do anyway with this these little vlogs. I try and be a little bit different to what's out there. You know, sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. If I'm not a little bit different, I'll probably stop doing them, to be honest with you. So I do try and improve and add to them as we go along. Right, Raya and the Last Dragon. Yes, PG rating. It's fair enough. Probably a U would have been fine, to be honest with you. But I think if there's a little bit of sword fighting, etc., and fighting in it, I think they have to go to a PG. I'm not too sure, but I think that's the rules. An hour and 48 minutes with about an hour and 36-minute runtime. I didn't watch this till the end, so hopefully I didn't miss it. I didn't miss any exciting bits just added on after the credits, which sometimes happens, doesn't it? So I must admit, I just thought on then I might have missed something, but no. About a 1 hour 36 runtime for this. Quite long, but more on that in a bit. It's the 59th film produced by the studio, directed by Don Hall and Carlos Lopez Estrada, also co-directed by Paul Briggs and John Ripper. It's produced by Osnat Shura and Peter Del Vecchio, written by Ki Nyun Adele Lim. You have to forget my pronunciations. A lot of Asian names, etc. today, so please forgive me. I'm not the greatest at enunciating these names. And music composed by James Newton Howard. Yeah, more on that in a bit. I don't usually bother much about the music, but just there'll be a little comment about that later on. The film actually features predominantly Asian American cast. Asian American. That's cool. I have seen complaints that there wasn't enough, you know, it was all Asian Americans, there wasn't enough actual Asian actors. So, I mean, you can't win no matter what you do in this world, I suppose. Includes the voices of Kelly Marie Tran as Raya, a fierce and courageous warrior princess. Yeah, this is obviously one of the princess franchise from Disney, isn't it? A warrior princess of Commander's Heartland who has been trained to become a guardian of the Dragon Gem. We've got Awkwafina as Sisu, yeah, a goofy young water dragon, very goofy, who is the last of her kind in existence. Yeah, a bit annoying her voice at the start, but I sort of got used to it. Isaac Wang as Boone, a charismatic 10-year-old entrepreneur and owner of the Shrimporium, of course he is, a boat restaurant, good lad. Gemma Chan as Namari, the warrior princess of the Fangland and Raya's enemy. Ooh, Jonas Xiao voices young Namari. Daniel Day Kim as Chief Benja, the chief of Commander's Heartland and Raya's father. Benedict Wong as Tong, a formidable warrior giant from the Spineland. He is very formidable, very giant. Sandra Oh as Varana, Naman's mother and the chiefess of the Fangland. Thalia Tran as Little Noi, an infant con artist from the Talonland. Lucille Sung as Dang Hu, the chiefess of the Talonland. And Alan Tudyk as Tuk Tuk. Yeah, Tuk Tuk. That's one of the things they drive around in, isn't it? Raya's best friend and trusty steed that is a mix of an armadillo and a pill bug. Well, there you go. There are other little voice actors, but they're the main guys. I think we've covered it. I didn't do too bad there with the names, did I? Can't even pronounce normal names, never mind, but I'm quite happy with that. The film is set in Fantasyland called Commandra, inspired. This is inspired by Southeast Asian cultures of Brunei, Singapore, Laos, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Yeah, all this in a 1 hour 40-minute film. It can't be too bad, can it? Theatrically released in the United States on March the 5th. Obviously, we've not got them open here in the UK yet. It would be nice. It's the sort of film you like to watch on a big screen, this one. The film's release was also simultaneously available, and this is where most people watched it, on Disney Plus with their Premier Access. It's not free on Disney Plus yet. You do have to pay a premium. Of course, this is because of the COVID situation, as you'd expect. I watched the trailer, and as you know, I usually watch the trailers excuse me, after I watch the film. So I did watch the trailer, and I'm going to give the trailer 8 out of 10. Yeah, I quite enjoyed the trailer. Is it any good though, the film? What about the film? The trailer's good. I think if you watch the trailer, you pretty much get what you're going to get in the film. So if you like the trailer, I think you will like the film. Is it any good? Well, Rotten Tomatoes reports a 96% positivity from their 225 critics reviews. I've given the film a positive review, of course, on that basis, with an average rating of, well, a little bit lower than 96%. That's a positivity rating. 7.7 out of 10, but that's still pretty good, isn't it? And that's 215 fresh and just 10 rotten. So there you go. So we've got 10 miserable buggers, haven't we, somewhere hanging around on Rotten Tomatoes. The website's consensus reads, another gorgeously animated, skillfully voiced entry into the Disney canon. Raya and the Last Dragon continues the studio's increased representation while reaffirming that its classic formula is just as reliable as ever. Audience on Rotten Tomatoes, again, quite a lot of scores left. 85% positivity, so that's not bad, averaging out at 8.4 out of 10. So there you go, the audience seem to like it. What about Metacritic? Yep, the film has a weighted average of 75 out of 100. Again, pretty good. That's based on 42 critics on the Metacritic, with 35 positive and 7 mixed. So no negative reviews. And it scores anywhere between the lowest, which is 5.8, which is okay, and 9 out of 10. The lowest score came from Consequence of Sound's Lauren J. Coates. She only gave it 5.8 out of 10 and said, though Raya and the Last Dragon is a visual and audible spectacle anchored by an all-star cast, the film's lack of originality and paper-thin characters leave it on the less memorable end of Disney animated films. No, not a fan then, Lauren. Yep, a bit more of a middling score, 6.3 out of 10. Movie Nation's Roger Moore, we do him a lot, don't we? Raya is a pleasant enough kids' adventure. Raiders of the Lost Ark meets Mulan, who is now a Tomb Raider. Yeah, I think that's quite good. I think you nail on the head there, Roger, to be honest with you. But someone who did like it, Brian Celerico, 8.8 out of 10. He's from RogerEbert.com, another well-established and liked site. It's an ambitious family film that will work for all ages, it will, and one that never talks down to its audience while presenting them with an entertaining, thought-provoking story. It is. It also contains some of the most striking imagery Disney has ever produced, absolutely, dropping its characters in a world that feels both classic and new at the same time. Internet Movie Database, this is what we want to hear, isn't it? What does Joe Public think? What do you and me and just the ordinary Joe on the street think? Well, 14,280 reviews as I'm recording this. It's not too shabby, is it? And it's getting an overall score of 7.6 out of 10. That's not a bad score on Internet Movie Database. Anywhere up towards 7.5, 8, 8.5. They're all the big scores. So that's not a bad score, 7.6, and it's a wide audience, isn't it, over 14,000, so that's pretty good. On the Internet Movie Database, I've just took one sort of little review, the good, the bad, and the so I'll have a look at the good first. Time Warts on the 9th of March 2021, he headed his review, Disney doing things right. He gave it 9 out of 10. He says, the characters are very well written and the idea and the setup of the world is great. The animations and the effects are phenomenal. The humour isn't as cringy as I expected and actually made me laugh quite a few times. The story is alright, although not very complex. There is some good character development and the moral theme is well executed. In the end, a very good movie. I absolutely loved watching it, and after all that, after all, that's what I want in a good Disney movie. Something that makes you feel good. Absolutely, Tim. I can't agree with you more. The bad? Well, the bad, here we go. Get Pablo on the 9th of March 2021. He headed his little review. Looks great. Studio boardroom storyline, just 4 out of 10. I won't go into too much detail, he says, since a lot of other reviewers have essentially pointed out the flaws in the movie better than I can. To summarise, the movie looks amazing. That's good. And the story starts out okay. That's good. But then it just becomes a hodgepodge mishmash of old stories from other movies. Well, it's hard to be original, isn't it? Suspiciously similar to what a committee in a boardroom would come up with. And therein lies the problem. It would have been a good movie, but everything is so predictable and you feel like you've seen it all before. We probably have. Which, unfortunately, is true. And it leaves you with an empty feeling like cotton candy, looks full, but invariably empty and without substance. What a pity Disney decided to go down this route. So, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with what he says. I'm not saying that makes it a bad movie, though. But anyway, and the guy who wasn't overly bothered at one way or the other, give it 6 out of 10. Sacrifice on the 9th of March 2021. Great design, but a few things were off. He headlined it, and he said, well, she said, I'm not too sure if it's a he or a she, you would expect no less but great design from Disney, and on that point there is nothing to be disappointed, and the soundtrack is on point as well. As for what I didn't like, the story is in its usual realm of predictiveness. I cannot bring myself to like Awkwafina's voice, and probably never will. It was already irritating enough in Crazy Rich Asians, and this time it was enough to put me off completely. Her character, Sisu the Dragon, as I said, it did grow on me. I didn't like it at first, but I think she sort of toned it down as the movie went on. While I like the overall design of the movie, the dragons are just a joke. Who knows what a dragon... Do dragons exist? Do we have an actual image of a dragon to know what a dragon should look like? Who's to say she can't look like a fluffy thing that these do? I mean, I don't understand that. Well, I like the overall design of the movie. The dragons are just a joke. I can understand this is targeted at children and they want to make them as cute and likeable as possible. God forbid. But they just look ridiculous in my eyes, yeah. But I mean, obviously, get me a live picture of a dragon. Let's make a comparison. Let's see a real one. I don't mean the Komodo dragon either. That's not really a dragon, is it? I want a live picture, mate, and then we can make comparisons, can't we? But yeah, how can you compare something that doesn't exist? But hey, there you go. Who says dragons don't look cute and cuddly like little cats and kittens and fluffy bears and whatever? It's, you know, who's to say? Anyway. That was a May review. They quite liked its Sacrifice, but obviously weren't impressed with certain things. Right, Bernard's thoughts, my little thoughts. Yeah, I mean, there is generally a positive vibe about this one. I looked at a lot of reviews. I say I only picked 2 or 3 out there from the Internet Movie Database, and obviously I've done some critiques for you. As you'd expect, the politics of it all does raise its ugly head. There's mentions of China, and obviously China being the evil bit in this film and all this sort of thing. So that's raised, and obviously the fact that there's a strong female cast, as again, well, it is the princess series, but there you go, we could have a guy as a princess, I suppose. I mean, that's doable in this day and age, isn't it? But there's a criticism on the strong, again, female leads, with the men all being a bit weak and wishy-washy, but there's 1 or 2 strong male characters, but I know what they're getting at. But you know, that's the politics of it, and as I say, I'm not interested in the politics. I just want to be entertained. I was a little worried by the runtime, as I said, but it just about gets away with it though. There are probably one or two sort of scenes that perhaps could have been cut and clipped, but the fact that the whole thing's never wordy, you know, there's a lot of scenery, a lot of sets, a lot of things to look at, a lot of characters. So the fact that it's not too wordy, there's perhaps she's struggling to cut a couple of scenes, to be honest with you, so because it would appeal, even though it's quite long. Perhaps younger children might struggle a little bit, but certainly not for the older children. I think will enjoy the visual experience as well as most of the young ones will for most of the runtime of it. Anyway, there was some critique of shallow characters. I didn't personally see that. I quite liked it. There's not much background to some of the characters. You don't know much of the backstory, but I still like them. Even the bad guys, even the baddies, I quite liked, and I like the characters, and they are. You knew, I mean, you could see, I mean, it's not rocket science to work out what may happen in this film, and there's sort of minor twists, but there's nothing that blows you away as such. And as some guy said, that was a criticism, but I don't think it is a criticism. I think if you can enjoy a film and enjoy watching it and get entertained by it, it doesn't really matter that we've seen it all before, does it? Let's be honest about it. So yeah, the characters, I quite like them. I did enjoy them. I mean, this is under the Disney Princess banner franchise, of course, and I sort of think Raya now is currently my favourite. I did, yeah, I quite like Raya. I'll have to admit that, from a very old man, and she just made me very happy, and I just enjoyed what she did. You know, I just thought she's now become my favourite little princess anyway of the lot. You know, she's just a wonderful character, well animated, just excellent. Just everything about her, from the young Raya to the slightly older Raya, she's gone to the top of my top 10 princesses now. I mean, even above other princesses. There you go. I don't talk much about soundtrack, as you know, in these vlogs. It's not something that really interests me that much, but yeah, I have noticed, as a couple of people mentioned it, and I did notice the soundtrack was pretty good. I mean, it's in line with the scenery, with the characters, etc., and that just added to the excellent presentation of the whole film, I think. It's more a big screen experience. I mean, I literally watched it on a 12-inch screen, but I will plan to go and watch it, perhaps not at the cinema, not the way things are, but I certainly will try and watch it on a bigger TV, put it that way, because it was quite impressive. Some of the sets and some of the animation was absolutely fantastic. Although a couple of the characters' animation I thought was not as great initially, but I think that's just getting used to it. And once I got used to it, like that voice of the dragon, once I got used to it, I didn't really notice any problems. I thought it was very, very good. Of course, it's not on par with some of the animated classics of Disney. Of course, it's not. But it has been a while since something really worthwhile, even from Disney, has come out, from any studio, even from Disney. So, yeah, I think this is really worthwhile. It's family orientated, and it'll appeal to adults as well. It appealed to me, the adventure side. You know, it's a story as old as time, isn't it? Collecting different things from different places and going through different trials. I mean, it's there. It's been done many times, as someone said before. But it was just a thoroughly entertaining adventure film, even for an adult like me. I didn't have to sit and watch it with grandkids or kids. So it just appealed to me. It perhaps does lack a bit of the humour, perhaps of some of the Disney stuff. It made me smile 3 or 4 times, perhaps, in it. But and some of the characters made me smile, not laugh out loud or anything like that. So the humour isn't quite right. And dare I say it does obviously like some songs as well. There's no songs in this, so if you're expecting a typical Frozen sort of Mulan song orientated thing, there are no songs in this. There's a good soundtrack, but there's no actual songs as such. So yeah, I mean, I do like a good song, as you know. That's my, I'm not overly impressed by soundtracks, but I do like a good song. But I didn't miss it in this. I just enjoyed it for an adventure film. A good old-fashioned collect the artifacts adventure with animation and backdrops that will appeal to all ages, keep the younger ones happy as well with the bright colours, etc, etc. And let's face it, it's got end sequences that'll leave a big smile, even on an old bugger like me. It'll leave a big smile on my face. And yes, I will admit I did shed a tear or two in this film as well, because I'm a big mardy, really. But it's that sort of film, and that's what you want from Disney, isn't it? That's what you want from a good family film, let's be honest about it. Yep, so in my brief one-line end to this, one of the best family films I've seen in a long while. And I'm going to go mad. I think this is the highest film rating I've given since I remember doing film ratings on these little vlogs. I'm going to give the film a Bernard rating. Drum roll, if you had a drum. No, I haven't got a drum. 8.5 out of 10. There you go. I mean, that's as good as a 10 out of 10 for me. You know, I don't go with 10 out of 10s. I don't agree with 10 out of 10s, but that's as good as a 10 out of 10 for me. 8.5 out of 10. I think I've got a bit of a fever now. I'll have to lie down. Yeah, the poster. Yeah. Great posters. I mean, as you've seen a few up there while I've been doing this, haven't you? Fantastic posters. I might go out and buy one and stick it on my wall at the back there. So I don't really, obviously all my posters are from the 90s and 2000s, but are fantastic posters. I think they're brilliant. I mean, if I had a video shop now, I would have loved to have received some of them with my expensive copies of the film, obviously. But there you go. Yeah, I'm going to give the poster 8 out of 10 because you can't give it more than the film. So I'm going to give the poster a very high 8 out of 10, which is in line with the trailer. So the trailer and the poster draw today, but as far as the film's concerned, absolutely excellent, superb. One of my favourites. Certainly one of my favourite Disney's, one of my favourite films of the last 2 or 3 years that I've been doing these vlogs. So there you go, 8.5 out of 10 for the film. Anyway, let me know what you think. As I say, there'll be some people who aren't happy, but there always is, and that's just how it goes. Thanks for watching. What we do the rest of the day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Until we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my Citizen channel, my football channel. Whatever it is, all I ever ask is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching and putting up with me. Bye for now.